Alito, today is another day out in the middle of nowhere. Today I'm going to an old bridge, Highway 6. It's an abandoned bridge in the woods that was part of the original Highway 6 before its realignment back in the late 50s, early 60s, I believe it was. There was a little curve, and Harris County decided to straighten up Highway 6, and when they straightened it up, they left a portion of Highway 6 and a bridge down at the bottom in the woods, kind of, sort of. So that's where we're heading to right now. So sometime late 1950s, early 60s, I'm not sure exact time date, Highway 6 was realigned. So basically, the county or the city or whoever decided that the original Highway 6, because of flooding, was too low. So they went ahead and raised Highway 6 about 6 feet and moved it over, making it straight because it was a slight curve. And in doing so, they left the original Highway 6 bridge. This is a 2-lane bridge. The original Highway 6 bridge was left right here where it is. It's been here for a long time. No one has really maintained it at all. It's been in the woods. Most people don't even know about it in the woods. And right there is the new Highway 6. It's about 6 feet higher. You can see how the bridge just dead ends right there, pretty much. And that's where they straightened Highway 6. I was here last, it was before Hurricane Harvey. And during Hurricane Harvey, there's probably about, a good 15, 20 feet of water above our heads here. Now the roadbed continues straight ahead, and it's really hard to see. But it continues for another maybe 200 feet, and then it just sort of just stops. Now the cool thing is about this was a ditch that went alongside. There's like a small pond or body of water that direction. I'll try to get there in a minute. But I want to show you something really cool. And it sort of piqued my curiosity with the Bear Creek and Langham Creek bridges. But let me get down to under the bridge. And I'll show you something. Now this is under the bridge. So we have a concrete deck and these steel girders supporting the deck, okay? Yet supporting the bridge are these old wooden pilings. And to me, that is one of the most amazing things. The fact that you had wooden pilings holding this place up. A lot of the steel you can see is getting a bit thin. Yeah, that one there looks like it's about have given up his life. So it's a matter of time. Once that one gives, this part of the bridge, in fact, I can see one way over there, and see if I can zoom into it. Yeah, that one there about the same way. It's getting a lot of deterioration. Yeah, once these, oh, that one there too. Yeah, that one there is getting a little squishy at the bottom. Yeah, these once these pilings, like that one there, once that gives away, then the only thing holding this part of the bridge up is that one right there, and just that embankment there. And at that point there, this bridge will start sagging since this metal is so thin in so many places. That part there is completely rusted out. And once that's gone, then as the bridge loses support, I don't think it's gonna just collapse. I think it's just gonna melt into the ground basically as it collapses slowly. Concrete will break, and it will slowly just sag and finally just break. So, but yeah, 1960s, late 50s. That was the last time this bridge was actually maintained and used as on traffic, and it's not bad to be this old and still in pretty good shape actually. Yeah, I love finding these old bottles. They're actually everywhere. You start walking around, you see these old bottles kind of just sort of scattered in all these kind of places. Like old syrup bottle or something. Yeah, this is one of the ditches. It runs through the little pond. I don't think the pond, because looking at the maps, Highway 6 continued straight on from here. They had a little curve, and the pond wasn't there. Look, another one. Probably an old fence post. That's some barbed wire coming out of it. The pond wasn't there, so I got this suspicion that they were probably, when they were raising Highway 6, they probably did a little bit of digging and dredging. Yeah, that bottle's a little bit newer because you can see it has a screw on top. When you see a bottle that doesn't have a screw on top, then that puts it at a certain date. I want to say in the 1970s on back, we had to get a bottle opener to open our bottles. Then sometime in the late 70s and 80s, early 80s, they started putting screw-on bottle tops. So a lot of times you can see bottles and stuff and cans, and that will sort of date about how old your area is. Yeah, right there we're in the ditch. This is the original roadbed for Highway 6. The road used to be on top of that. As much as I see the debris, concrete debris, I think when they were building the highway, the new highway, I think they sort of pushed things aside, and yeah, that's another old can, that's an old peel top. Those are 1970s and back. Somewhere in the, I guess, 80s into the 90s, they started using those little tabs. If that makes any sense. I'm trying to watch out for snakes. I'm in shorts again. Shorts and different kind of shoes, so I gotta watch where I'm walking this time. But yeah, I see a lot of concrete. I'm not sure what the concrete was. I'm thinking more likely it was the original roadbed. But to my knowledge, the original roadbed was asphalt and probably old crushed shell. I could be wrong, but I see a lot of, like right here. This is this old concrete, asphalt concrete stuff. It's like almost like an asphalt mix. It's really hard to explain. It's easy to break. Has sort of a another old can there. Has sort of a, you can still smell the asphalt. Still smell the oiliness of it. These are old culverts. I imagine the way these are shaped, there's probably a parts of the original Highway 6 probably had little pipes running through it, so water drains from one side to the other side. And that was the problem they had out here once they put the dams up, was flooding. After a good rainstorm, you're pretty much guaranteed a flood out here. Let me get on top of the roadbed and I'll look down to where those little pond creek thing is. So here's where the Highway 6 seems to end. And on the maps, it shouldn't end here. That's one thing. I think this was dug sometime, again, late 50s, early 60s, in order to raise Highway 6 6 feet higher. Right here, straight ahead, that's the old roadbed. And about 200 feet that way, you'll see the bridge. Another cool thing is something you find. This right here. That is an old insulator off a power pole. And I don't see no power poles here anywhere. So there probably was at one time power poles running down Highway 6. More debris, concrete debris. Yeah, and it could have been, that could have already been there, and that was just parts of another small bridge that ran across. But I'm not seeing any pilings or anything sticking out. I don't know. But I do see the. But it looks like could have been one time a little bridge or a little. I don't know. Now, one thing I do see, let's see if I can zoom in on that there. There's one over there. It's hard to say. It's like a point, but that right there, that used to probably be a fence post sticking out of the water. And I only say that because over here we have a metal pole, and over there I see another fence post sticking there. I see a whole line of old fence posts. All the barbed wire has rusted off already, and it lines up with that one over there. So it's probably just a fence line running through here at one time. Yeah, this is a old fence post, and you can sort of see. Maybe there's one there, and you see down the way there's one there. They're all lined up in a row. They're all pretty much rotted out. All the barbed wire has rusted off. But if you're ever out in the woods, hiking the woods, and you run across some upright posts, it looks like maybe trees, but they're just in a row like that. That is a fence line. And then you can sort of branch out, start zigzagging through the woods. And sometimes you'll find a home site or just a little home foundation or a barn foundation where you could use some cattle or something. Let me get back to the bridge. Yeah, there you see them. One there, one there. One there. And that big one there. In fact, that big one there has some of the barbed wire still on it. Oh, isn't that cool? So that fence may have continued that way, or that fence may have walked this direction. Most times fences were in 90-degree angles and stuff, so it could have been that way. It's thick out there. But yeah, I'll come back wintertime, maybe. And maybe see what I got find out there. So I'm gonna get back to my truck. I'm sort of curious. The bridges over at Bear Creek and Langham Creek are about the same vintage. They were built about the same time this bridge was built. Now those bridges, I remember in my younger years, had a wooden deck over them. They weren't concrete, they were wooden decked, and I'm sort of curious if there's a metal girder under it holding those up with wooden pilings, because those two bridges are still in use. So I'm gonna head over there and take a peek. Now this is Patterson Road. Actually, I said that wrong. This is Haunted Patterson Road. If I see a ghost, it's gonna be hit and run. So this is Patterson Road. Up ahead is Bear Creek and Langham Creek. You can see the flood gauge right there. It says 8 feet high. When we have some rains out here, this road will be, most of them I've seen it about 2-3 feet deep. During Harvey, this was all you see was the treetops sticking out of the water. But up here are the two bridges that are as old as the old Highway 6 bridge. Let's see if I can get to them. Now this is the Bear Creek Bridge, and you can see the original bridge actually had a wood deck on it. And a couple years back, they went ahead and asphalted this over. And I'm actually curious. Yeah, you can see the wood. In fact, that's one big old wooden beam right there. I'm curious if the supports under it are the same as the Highway 6 bridge. So let's see if I can get on there and get up under there and find out. But that's Bear Creek right there. Oh yeah, it is. So basically, we have a wooden bridge. Wow, in fact, there's no steel girders at all. This is all wood. The only steel we have is the railing attached to the beams there, which is probably newer railing actually. Because I'll imagine back in the country days, probably wasn't railed over. Oh wow, the car drove under it, over top of us, and I feel the ground move actually. It's a bit creepy. We have grass growing on that. But yeah, this whole bridge is just a wooden bridge. Shut the front door. Didn't know that. Maybe because it's a shorter span than the Highway 6. Highway 6 bridge is probably about 80 feet across or so. 80-foot span. This is maybe about a 25, 30-foot span. But yeah, when the car is driving on top of it, you can feel the ground shake a little bit. Because these are just driven down in the mud. Not telling how far, but they're just driven down into the mud. So whenever a car or a truck runs on top of us, the shock from the bridge goes into the ground. So yeah, the ground probably vibrates a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Langham Creek and see. Yes, it's Bear Creek. Yeah, this is Langham Creek. So this way, the bridge is over there. I'll tell you a funny story. Because I used to fish out here a lot. And at one time, this creek did not flow this far out over before it turned to the bridge. It actually went straighter into the bridge. Every time we have a pretty good flood out here, this river, this little creek here is raging. And every time it's raging, this little oxbow, this little curve here, gets further and further dragged this way. And all the sediment here is slowly deposited. Eventually, they're going to have to do something with this road and how they have it set up. Because eventually this creek is going to flow itself over into Pedersen Road and probably even take out the bridge. But let me get to the bridge. I'm curious to see, because it's a longer span and it looks like it's built different than the Bear Creek Bridge. So let me get over there. So the Langham Creek Bridge is built totally different. It is all concrete construction. And it is, yeah, it's new, a lot newer style than the old bridge. So we probably had a pretty good flood, and this bridge probably got damaged, and they decided to tear it down and put a new bridge up. Because this is, yeah, looking underneath it, that is new construction, like within the last 10 years new. So yeah, that's probably what happened. The original bridge on Langham got destroyed or got damaged. There's a bridge over the Barker Reservoir. There's an old road. What is it called? Aldine Bender or Aldine. I can't remember now. Anyway, there's a road out there that's been abandoned and turned into a bike trail. And the original bridge was much like the Highway 6 bridge. And during Harvey, they had so much flow going through Buffalo Bayou that the bridge was actually picked up, moved over a couple feet, and but yeah, it was basically just a steel girder with a wooden deck, concrete poured on top of that, and all the pillars were all the pilings were wood, and they had to tear that bridge down and put a new bridge. Also, you know, similar construction, just all concrete. But yeah, this is interesting. It's a shame though, but yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, this is Langham Creek. In my younger years, I literally remember this creek flowing pretty much just sort of straight that way, then turning. This long S curve wasn't there. So I imagine a couple years, a few more floods, and this S curve here is going to take that tree out, and it's going to be touching this Pedersen Road. Well, that's all I have for today. Time to get on home.